Hey, how's it going everyone? This is the Anime Man. So as you can see, I'm in a different place. I'm in Aki's place right now because last week, as of the recording of this video, I was in MomoCon in Atlanta with a bunch of my friends and it was a super fun time. Now, I had originally planned to get an Answer Me Senpai live up for you guys because I did a solo panel. I did a live Answer Me Senpai with you guys in Atlanta and it was going super well except for the fact that they forgot to record it. But luckily, the lovely folks over at MomoCon let me upload this panel right here, which you guys are about to see, that I did with Aki, Misty, Gaijin Goombah, and Glass Reflection. And it was a super cool panel, we had a lot of fun in it, and so, for those of you who missed the panel or couldn't make it to MomoCon, I'm gonna re-upload it right here in its entirety for you guys. I know I haven't uploaded a panel onto my channel for quite a while, so if you guys do enjoy these kinds of panel videos, you know, like full panels and stuff like that with me and my friends on it, then make sure to give this video a like so that I know to save future panels that I do at future conventions. But in any case, I hope you guys enjoy this panel.
Little did any of you know I was standing here the whole time.
Enjoy the panel!
Yeah.
There's the lights. Need some sunglasses.
I'm just gonna hold the mic.
It's probably not a bad idea.
Welcome everybody. How has your con been so far? Good?
That's good.
Nice.
Thank you.
What is this panel called again?
Let's talk anime and YouTube.
Anime on YouTube.
We couldn't think of anything else. The first day we talked about anime, then yesterday we talked about YouTube. I guess this one is anime and YouTube.
Okay. Well, welcome everybody to Anime on YouTube 2, I guess. Let's do a little self-introduction around the table. Maybe start this side? Yeah.
Okay, hi. My name is Tristan Gallant. I'm better known on the internet as GRArkada, and I run a YouTube channel called Glass Reflection and have for a rather long time now, I think. So, hi.
I've actually been watching you before I even started YouTube. So yeah, so when I started meeting up with him, I was like, oh, surreal. Hey guys, hey friends, it's akidearest. And I talk about anime and otaku related things and do weird skits that have to do with Ryuk from Death Note saying, I couldn't find a costume.
Hi, I'm Joey, better known as the Anime Man. And I'm a man that talks about anime. Surprise.
Surprised me. Hey everyone, Gaijin Goombah here. Sorry, that lacked a lot of pep. You may know me from my work on the GRArkada channel or my own, where I talk about culture and gaming. And over the last couple of months, I've branched out pretty hard into anime and absolutely loving it. There's so much to teach.
Welcome everybody, my name is Misty Chronexia and I am known for my top 10s that...
Yeah, that's why you have to be quiet.
Wow, you told me like to be closer. All right.
Yeah, just...
so yeah, I do top 10s mostly and kind of the library on YouTube if you're looking for a new show to find out about. My channel is the place for it. So yeah, thank you so much for coming to our panel. We're going to try to entertain you for the next hour and a half, maybe?
An hour, I think.
And
hour.
Just an
hour then.
Just an hour.
After that you get out. No, I kid.
Wow, how harsh.
Okay,
hey.
so.
Harsh but fair.
Okay, and I'm your moderator, Dee, and thank you guys so much for being out here, coming and talking to the fans here at MomoCon. This is really awesome. Like, I don't know that you guys understand just how much this means to these guys. Like, show them how much it means to you. Yeah!
Now, can you pretend to do that the first time for a video? Because I wish I was prepared for that.
Okay, wait a minute.
Hold on. Yeah, take 2.
Out of who
Just
knows
do a jump
how
cut.
many we're going to
Yeah,
end
I'm
up
going to record this.
Okay.
Hey, Mom, hope you're doing well. Don't really... I ate today, so that was good. Oh, also, I met some new people. Tell the family I said hi. Bye. So sorry about that.
It's okay.
I will have that clean.
I mean, at least it's not the whiskey, so.
I'll just like.
There's whiskey? Nobody told me that.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna start with the pertinent questions here.
Okay.
What anime got you guys into anime?
Can I have like 5 answers?
You want to start?
You may have.
Okay, I technically have 2 answers, so since we have like 5, 2 is perfectly reasonable. The first anime I ever watched was on a Canadian channel, because I'm Canadian, called YTV, and it was the original, somewhat not great dub of Sailor Moon. Way back in the 90s. But the first anime I watched where I actually was like, no, this is anime and this is a thing and not just some weird cartoon I found on television, was the film Princess Mononoke.
Good. I always find a Ghibli film is a great way to get anyone into anime, you know? Because like some people can't do series, so a movie's always a good choice. With me, I think I started like a lot of us here, and it would have been from, you know, Pokemon, DBZ, and Sailor Moon. But I didn't really know that anime was anime, so as I grew up, still when I was a wee lad, thank you Adult Swim for bringing Inuyasha, Eureka 7, Fully Cooley, Elfen Lied, and then that kind of just like sparked, I guess, what we called like the golden age of anime, where we saw Clannad and Lucky Star, and everyone learned how to do the Haruhi dance and everything.
Oh, the days.
Yeah, and so, yeah, that's how I was born, yeah.
I'm probably the most different, probably, out of this bunch,
Yeah.
considering I, you know, was raised, you know, in Japan with Japanese TV. So I grew up watching some really obscure, or I guess obscure here, but children's anime that everyone in Japan knows, but not many people here know. So like, Doraemon would probably be the most like notable one.
Yeah.
Like, cause that was the one anime that every Japanese kid for the past like 4 or 5 generations has grown up watching. So that was the first anime that I ever watched. But I guess like the first like anime that I ever watched was probably Totoro. Yeah, My Neighbor Totoro. Because like as a 3-year-old, that is like the most magical movie in the world.
I got news for you. As a 30-year-old, it's boring.
Yeah. That's the thing. As an adult, like all the parents groaned while their kid, you know, watched Totoro for the 500,000th time.
But
and
it's super atmospheric though. That's the benefit between it and like a kid's show.
Yeah.
No, this is why though that they released Totoro and Grave of the Fireflies back to back in Japanese
exactly.
theaters.
So like the kids could watch Totoro and, you know, glisten their eyes in wonder, while the parents could watch Grave of the Fireflies and cry their eyes out. Yeah, it was perfect mix. Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's ever mentioned this, but I think the first cartoon from Japan, if we can call it that, so like Superbook, Maya the Bee, that one about the 2 koalas. I can't remember the name of that though.
I remember Maya the Bee.
Yeah, but like those are those technically, do a video on that. Are they technically anime? Like that'd be fun.
I don't know. I need to do research.
But no, I grew up like it really first hit me with like Dragon Ball, Trigun, Cowboy Bebop, like all the stuff that wasn't classified as like anime as we know today, like really varying art styles. Freaking Robotech, but that was like 3 animes rolled into one. So I'm pretty old when it comes to first animes. So that'd be Misty.
Myself, I had a peculiar story. I started off watching another Canadian channel. Maybe you guys have it, Teletoon?
Oh, no, we had Teletoon.
Okay, yeah. And it was playing Cardcaptor Sakura. This is where I started. And from there I just carried on with the rest of the stuff. Although we did have the French version in Quebec, so
yeah,
cool.
It's probably better than
cool.
the...
Yeah, because Teletoon had their own French version of the channel in Quebec.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that's it.
Yay.
Awesome. So, what do you guys think about like newer things, and how can anime, like, do you think that anime could flourish if it started like broadcasting on YouTube, or do you think that that just competes with things like Funimation, Crunchyroll too much?
It all comes down to licensing, because in the West, rather than just getting everything, they get like typical branding. Because everything is made by different studios in Japan, so they can get licensed depending on whichever contact they have and everything. So it's a little trickier to get like everything at once. But eventually, I think it was going to make its way although it's already like some shows are already.
Yeah,
on
that's
YouTube.
what I was gonna say. Like
Yeah,
technically, anime has already been streamed on YouTube.
It
just
is on YouTube, but
not legally.
it's not
Yeah.
like Google has been the ones to actually license it and put it out there. It's
No,
always
no.
like
Right.
Funimation has put it up, or
You mean
Crunchyroll
like
has a few
you
now.
mean like
that I
those
think
people
there
who
too.
like condense the episode down to like 1/4 of the screen, and then there's just some like pattern in the background, and
You
then
mean
they
like my
speed up the
thumbnails?
audio. I can't even
And
enjoy
then even
it.
when it's like full screen, you still have to like squint your eyes.
No,
to see
Yeah.
it.
even then, it's like they upload 2 minutes of an episode at a time, so an
yeah,
entire.
and then I'll just rage at it, and I'll just
Remember
open
like the old day where it was like part 1, 2, and 3, and you had like the 10 minutes limit, so you have to watch
You
the
gotta
ending
give-
Everything
by
in those
itself.
three
You gotta give kudos to the person who like races to it first while it's still up before it
Yeah.
gets taken down, who
Yeah.
puts it all up, and then after that you just rage and have to listen to lo-fi hip hop.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No,
So, what kind of issues do you guys run into when you're like talking about anime on YouTube? Do you ever have issues where people are like, "Don't show her anime"? Or
I recently had something similar to that happen because I actually apparently had the goal to say Darling in the Franxx was a good show.
how dare you?
How dare I? It's like, I mean, speaking as a YouTuber who is starting to get a little bit more in rather than being originally branded as a anime YouTuber, like I'm starting to actually see what it's like that you guys have to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, like when it comes to talking about, because I mean, you can make an anime video on YouTube without using any clips or images. Like there's tons of YouTubers who do that already, but I think for the most of us, like we like to use clips and
Yeah.
you know to actually show what we're talking about. But
Yes, because
there are-
anime is like a visual medium. So
Right.
if we're trying to explain why we like it, half of it is, hey, this looks really cool.
Yeah, but like there are some companies that don't exactly like that. Not naming any names, Ghibli, but that love to just copyright strike our videos down and not know what fair use is. And I'm sure all of us have run into that at least once in our lifetimes. So,
Yeah, either from Ghibli or from some really weird companies like that one from Italy.
Oh,
Which one?
there's this.
It was
there's
like
this-
Yam Emerald with a bunch of letters and numbers.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff.
It's just this like fake company from Italy that.
No, they're not actually fake.
Are they not fake?
No, they're a legitimate company and they actually have the anime licenses, but they only own the licenses for Italy. It's when they go to YouTube and they're just like, oh, we're gonna own this worldwide.
See, I
That-
thought it was fake the whole time.
No,
That's
no,
what
no.
I was pissed
That
about.
that actually happened to me. I think it was a different company, but my One Punch Man Witch Ninja video that has like 500,000 views, like it just got taken from me. And I even talked to my MC and they're like, unless you want to go to court, you'll win, but you'll have to go to court and waste like a bunch of money and time. And it's like,
Screw that.
can't do
Not
it.
really worth
so
It's not worth that time.
I had a video where it was like a video essay, and I got copyright strike from it, and it's not on YouTube anymore because Ghibli took it down. It was really praising Ghibli. It's like because I think it was their anniversary, so I wanted to do something special. I was like, Miyazaki's great, blah, blah, blah. Ghibli's amazing. And then Ghibli's like, taken down. I said, why? What did I say?
It doesn't matter what you say.
Yeah.
It matters that you talked about them in any context whatsoever.
I can
Pretty
one up.
much.
I can one up you on that. Like really, really early in my channel, when I did Let's Plays. If you guys remember that, yeah, I did a Let's Play of the Clannad visual novel, and I think I did like 28 episodes or something, right? Which is like 1/100th of that game. And all 28 episodes got claimed by Visual Arts, which are the company that owns the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fast forward 4 years later, or last year, Visual Arts wants to work with me. And the first thing, I met the CEO of Visual Arts, I had dinner with him, and the first thing I said was, hey, you guys took down 28 of my videos 4 years ago,
Yeah.
and all the CEO had to say was, my bad.
Yeah.
Do you still want to work with
The
us?
same thing happened when
I said yes.
The same,
Was the dinner good at least?
Yeah. I
good.
mean, I went to Singapore with them, and it was awesome. So.
Yeah, the same thing happened when I think we all did that sponsorship for Mary and the Witch's Flower, the movie that came out. We all basically we reviewed it, we shouted it out. I also talked to them about that. They also said the same thing. I said, is there any way I could get that back? They're like, no. Because if we take yours up, we have to put everyone else back up. I
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
all right, love-hate relationship. Okay.
Plus, no, but the Mary thing was more of a G-Kids thing, and then when I was talking
Yeah.
to them, they were just like, okay, well, we have to go through
Ghibli.
Ghibli to do this.
Yeah.
And Ghibli doesn't care.
Yeah, professionally saying, we can,
We can-
but we can't.
Yes.
Also. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for your
Okay.
question.
When was the first moment you realized that you guys were kind of big?
I think when we broke 100,000 subscribers. Like,
Did you like wake up one day and you're just like, oh my gosh?
it's more than just waking up. It's just staring at the monitor, waiting for that number to switch to 100,000. You're like, do it. Do it. I've been up for 3 hours. Do
For
it.
me, though, I think it was like when I made enough ad revenue based on my videos so that I could walk down the hallway, because I was in dorms at the time, and buy a Coke. And I was just like, I bought this because I reviewed Japanese cartoons.
I think for me it was when I actually got my first, like, yeah, it's similar. Like I got my first amount of money, and back then I wasn't even on YouTube. I was just posting stuff on screwattack.com, and I made $30 in a month, and I was able to get that paid out. I'm like, this is the dream.
Yeah, I think for me, because I was at university when I started my channel, and I think the moment I was like, oh, this might actually be a thing was when my friends asked me like, oh, so how's that YouTube thing going? You know, obviously in jest, because they didn't know about it. They just thought it was like some kind of dumb little hobby that I was doing. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm you know, making decent amount of money off of it now. Like it's kind of gotten to this thing, and they're like, oh yeah, how much? And I said the amount, and they're like, you make more than we do. And I was like, well then, time for an occupation change, I guess. Yeah, so that was probably the moment I was like, oh, this might actually be a thing. Yeah, what about you?
I think like you were both like there when I guess I blew up
Yeah.
from the Vocaloid video.
Was it when you
actually,
flipped your mic?
Huh?
Was it when you flipped your mic?
Yeah, my mic didn't work for the longest time. Misty Chronexia over here was actually my mentor for the first year that I did YouTube, because I made a deal with myself. If it didn't work in a year, I would just go back to school. And then my parents also said, if you get to 100,000 subs, we will clean the downstairs room that we've never used, and you can use it as a studio, and we'll redecorate it. And then 1 week later, I was already at 98K, and they said, you want to raise it up to 200K? So, because it didn't even have a door on it, so my dad had to learn carpentry. So that was probably one of the more like fun parts of my growth.
So, about 10, 15 years ago, anime wasn't as like, you didn't have all of these people plus like, you know, another 50,000 out there. It was like, you're just a weird cartoon cult in like an after school program, you know?
Yeah.
Which some of us were.
And still are.
But, what do you think sparked that change to grow anime, and especially in the Western world?
I actually talked about this when I got an interview from the Japan Times, which is like this newspaper in Japan. But I said that the fan base has always been there. It's just they were hidden away.
Yeah.
That's what I think anyway. Like in the past, not even 15 years, in the past 5 years, I would say, there's kind of become this like anime renaissance almost of just people starting to finally realize that, oh, it's okay to dress up as our favorite characters and go to conventions and share this love of Japanese cartoons that we have with tens of thousands of other people in the same country.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just think that like the internet as a whole has helped kind of move that along a bit, because you can go onto the internet now and you can see all these people doing all these things, and you're like, oh, if they can do it, why can't I do that?
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know it's big once Kim Kardashian has to put up a picture of Zero from Darling in the Franxx.
Right, and like, you know, like even like before that, there have always been celebrities who have always, for the longest time, said that they love anime. Like, for example, like Quentin Tarantino.
Quentin
has loved
Tarantino,
anime.
Robin Williams way back in
And
the day.
Robin Williams, like huge celebrities, way back in the day, like way before all of these anime conventions and things were happening. They expressed their love for anime. But the thing is, nobody cared up until now, because back then, liking anime was this bad thing, was this weird thing that nobody wanted to touch.
I think Robin Williams was like a huge fan of Satoshi Kon, because
He was friends with
his
Satoshi
daughter,
Kon. He was friends with Satoshi.
Yeah, because his daughter Zelda, like, which is still such a cool name to give
I
your
know.
daughter. Gosh, Zelda, she posted like on Twitter and it got like super viral. She's like, I don't.
Yeah, she had the signed copy of Paranoia
Yeah,
Agent.
from Satoshi Kon. She's like, I don't know why everyone is surprised that I like anime. And then it showed like 2 Robin Williams from Satoshi Kon. And everyone's like, what? So that's awesome.
So yeah, I feel like it's always been around. It's just like, as Tristan said, like the internet has definitely helped bring everybody together, and now it's just becoming more and more mainstream as the years go on. So more and more people are coming out saying, "Oh no, I've liked it all along."
Yeah.
But I was always just
There's also
self-conscious.
less of a stigma around it nowadays.
Yeah.
People just don't care as much as they used to be. They're not as self-conscious about it.
Like weeaboo, for example, was a word that was like actually like bad.
insulting.
Yeah.
It was super insulting to people. But now we just go
Now
up
we
to
don't
each other
care.
and they're like, "Ah, you stupid weeb."
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's
Yeah.
like
We
I feel weeb in the anime community is nerd way back in the day.
Yeah.
Like
Pretty
the word
much.
nerd or like dork used to be like really negative, but now the word nerd is kind of become like this entitlement. Of,
Yeah, like nerd and geek and all of that.
yeah,
Even
exactly.
in Japan, the word otaku has definitely changed
Oh, yeah.
its
Oh,
value a
definitely.
lot now.
Like 20 years
actually.
ago, the word otaku was, if you were called an otaku, like you were like considered like the lowest of the low
Yeah.
on the humanity scale.
It's
But now
changed.
an otaku is just another person, you know.
Pretty much.
As far as like interest in anime and such from like the very beginning when it comes to the US, in my opinion, is that I think it was something that was so different than the animation that we've seen prior, because you either had like Looney Tunes or Disney, and neither of which were super challenging that often. And then you see like you see stuff like Rurouni, for anything from like Rurouni Kenshin to Trigun, like stuff that actually has symbolism and meaning and like adult themes, as like you have to have a mature mind to understand what they're saying. So I feel like it was just something so different that we could just latch on to.
So, do you guys have any crazy stories about like a time you met a fan and you just like, I don't know, you're eating a sandwich and a fan just comes up and like, there goes your lunch. I don't know.
Well, 2 years ago, we got somebody at AX who came to us and he was like, "Can you sign my arm?" So we're like, "Yeah, sure." Start signing. You know how it is signing to an arm, and it's super like
That was
gibberish.
with Leonaki, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
The tattoo
like,
guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
And as I was writing on it, he's like, "I'm gonna get that tattooed." I was like, "Don't do that."
Especially, they were like
like,
close
I
to
don't
the
know.
end and it was so lazily done. I was like,
Yeah, it's like, I don't know why you told me after I did a really crappy job. It's like, if I knew you were gonna like get this tattoo, then I would have done it like as neatly as I could.
yeah.
I don't know.
You got the butt guy?
I had the butt guy as well, but I mean, like, I think the day that I
Want to
found
give
out,
context
oh, the
of
butt,
what that means?
the first day at a con, I signed a guy's bare ass. Like,
I
That beats
was
my
sitting-
story.
not the underwear, like raw bottom. I had to sign it.
I was sitting next to you and I was just signing. I was like, oh,
And
thanks
this
for
is
coming.
the first guy.
And
First guy.
His butt was like on the table. I was like, hey, Joe. And then he's just like, yeah.
This is a very different con than you thought.
And it was in Canada.
I'm not surprised.
So,
I think the other like crazy, I guess, like fan story was like when I find out that like YouTubers that I've always loved were like that I had been a fan of were also a fan of me.
yeah, that's
Like that
always
kind of
surreal.
mutual fandom. Like when I found out that like PewDiePie was a fan of me, I was like, why?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bizarre.
I think mine, oh man, I got a bunch, and one of them's your favorite. And he's hoping that there's this fan. Okay, so on Facebook messages, if you message like a page, personally for me, I don't get a notification for it. It goes into like an archive that I never see unless I go manually. So I decided, okay, let me go check it out. There was this person who sent me like, Aki neko senpai desu desu, I love you so much. I said, well, I'm not going to reply to that. But then the next day, they didn't give up. And then they sent video after video, and it was like, you are my senpai, my only son. And they sang to me every single day. They are still messaging me to this day. I am not joking. They have sent fan letters. They have sent their life story. And all I did was send them a thumbs up, and that gave a little bit of a push to them. That was motivation taken to a whole different level.
But if they're that like stalkery, wouldn't they be watching this right now and be like, oh, she's talking about me?
He even streams of him going on a hike, and then as if like I'm watching it and he's talking to me, he's like, hey Aki, you see that sunset? And I'm like, oh. I've said nothing to you. And then he'll be like, hey, Aki, just got back from work. I missed you. I said nothing
He's
to you.
definitely watching the stream, and you shouldn't check your Facebook Messenger now.
Yeah, and I think one time he even said, hey, Aki, hope you had a good day. Tell Joey he can't have you. I'm just kidding, JK, or maybe not. I don't know.
Well then.
So, to this day, and Joey likes to keep up. He's like, hey, how's my best friend doing?
How's my bro?
Yeah,
So, would you guys like to hear a nice story?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was, where was it? I think it was Indie PopCon. And I was going down the dealer's room, and there was some like indie games and whatnot, and there was one called Sneaky Ninja, and I'm like, this is when I just started Witch Ninja over on my channel too, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna go check this out, and so I go and I sat down and I played it. It's basically like Mario meets Mark of the Ninja. I'll just leave it. That's really good. And so I get up and I start talking to the guy. Just telling him like, oh, this was really cool. I was really happy that you included this part because it's actually historically accurate, et cetera, et cetera. And he was really nervous. he just kept staring at me, and I'm like, oh, you know who I am, don't you? He's like, I was having a heart attack the moment you sat down.
Yeah.
Because he thought I was gonna rake his game over the coals, and now it's like I'm actually helping him develop it. So.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
I told you it's a nice story.
Good man, good man.
I got another one from AX. 2 years ago, I was at Anime Expo in Los Angeles, and my wife was with me. It was during our honeymoon, and a fan came up to me. It was a girl. She came up to me, and she just went, "Can you sign my boobs?" And my wife was right next to me. I just looked up at her. I was like, "Can I?" She's like, and she just went, "Go for it."
What about you?
Yeah.
Honestly, no.
Really?
I was hoping to avoid this because now that I've said that it's never happened, there's someone watching this right now being like, oh boy.
Here's your opportunity right now.
Then they're going to show up later. And
There is like one more that I had. I bought a laptop at Best Buy, and it was a normal transaction, and the guy was like recommending what was a good laptop for me, and then he would not make eye contact with me, so I thought,
that's weird.
I don't know.
Okay.
So then when I was at the cash register, I noticed like he's like, do you have a Best Buy, I don't know, membership? I said, I think so, maybe not. And then he pulls it up, and I never said it. It said like my business email, like akidearest. Actually, no, it was the other one, akidearest.wooper. And then I was like, I never said that. And I've made that public before, so it didn't creep me out too much. And once we made the transaction, he was like, by the way, keep up the good content. I was like, hey! And also he gave me a discount on it. I was wondering, I was like, why is there 10% off? I won't say anything. So, there.
That's awesome.
By the way, please don't get in trouble for doing that, ever. Don't give us discounts when you're not supposed to.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't going to say anything. It was his fault. Yep, I don't know.
So, all right, what animes are you guys looking forward to? Like, what are you watching right now?
Oh my lord, this season is
This
so good.
is like the worst season to ask that question.
Everything.
Everything is good.
This season, this year so far, and upcoming
This year
is so good.
We're only in the end of May, and this year already has like more best of contenders that I would normally be like, since like
Compared
the
to
last
like the last
years.
couple of years.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh boy, I sure wouldn't want to be Crunchyroll for the awards that are coming up.
Hey, to be fair,
Looking
there's a
forward
lot
to that.
contend with.
Geez, like this season, I mean, you know, there's Golden Kamui, which is awesome.
Yeah, just not including sequels and stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Golden
not including
Kamui.
the sequels.
Oh, man.
Golden
Megalobox is out.
Megalobox is
Megalobox is great.
so good.
I've been following a lot of Hinamatsuri and Last Period personally, though I know
Yeah.
those are like a little bit more low key.
Yeah, yeah. I personally like kind of think Uma Musume is really entertaining. Weirdly,
Yeah.
it's just
Oh,
about a bunch of horse girls running,
yeah.
and I'm like, why is this good?
It's
I don't get
entertaining
it.
in its absurdity more
Yeah.
So bizarre.
Also, we got a good SAO.
yeah, we got a good. Oh my god!
Because
Can
we have
talk
a
about the
different
good
writer.
SAO?
We have a different writer. We don't have Kirito, and the guy that did Kino's Journey is
I
doing it,
know.
so it's freaking
so
great.
good. And then like next couple of seasons, we have ones that I'm looking forward to is Grand Blue, which is really good manga. I recommend that. And also Goblin Slayer is another one that I'm really looking forward to. Yeah, but this year, I mean, if we're talking earlier this year, like, you know, Devilman Crybaby was,
That's gonna win.
Yeah.
It's
Incredible.
It's gonna win.
you know,
Like
it's so
that,
good.
Violet Evergarden.
Violet Evergarden was awesome. Like, this year has really stepped up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either that or last couple of years was really terrible. I don't know which one it is.
Why not both?
Why not both?
Honestly, I'm really surprised no one's really talking about Magical Girl Ore. I think it's a scream.
Because, like, I did, and nobody seemed to care.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like,
It's
this
like,
is oddly weird. Maybe this would have done a lot better in a different season.
I feel people know it because of the meme, but
Yeah.
no one is actually
Nobody
watching.
actually watches it, because it's like,
but
oh...
you get such Excel Saga vibes from it. It's
You do.
so good. If you like Excel Saga, go watch Magical Girl Ore.
And if you've never heard of Excel Saga, and that doesn't, like, register in your brain, go watch that.
watch
Go watch
that.
Excel Saga first,
Yes.
and then
And
go
then
watch
go
Magical
watch
Girl.
All right, so what do you think about video games based on anime? And like, is there like a video game that you actually prefer over the anime?
Attack on
Maybe
Titan.
the other way around, I know.
I prefer Persona 5 over Persona 5 the animation.
Well, like, I put in like 400-500 hours into Persona 5 because I wanted to get all the different girl endings, okay? I got An, and then I'm like, no, I want to know Makoto as well.
You started with On?
Yeah, I did. I started with An. I don't know why. I mean, I got all of them in the end, so it doesn't really matter.
It kind of makes sense, because if you want to just like go in chronological order, that
Yeah.
just makes it easier.
But like when I watched Persona 5 and the animation, I was like really excited because I'm like, well, Persona 5 in my opinion is the best Persona in the franchise. So the animation is gonna look if the game looks that dope, then the animation is gonna be incredible. But then after I watched it, like I kind of put it away in the same shelf as like Berserk 2016.
Yeah.
In the shelf of I wish that didn't exist.
Well, when I watched it, I kind of knew what I was expecting, because I watched Persona 4 the animation.
Right.
And I was just like, well, this is like so-so, but
Yeah.
like playing Golden, that's just a much better thing to do if you want to
Yeah.
know the Persona 4 storyline. So I kind of expected it was going to be like that.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it was going to be that level.
If we're talking the other way around though, like a game I preferred over the anime, I'd have to say Danganronpa.
Yeah.
Personally. Which I'm really pissed off because they animated Danganronpa 1 and 3, but they didn't do Danganronpa 2, and Danganronpa 2 is an incredible game, and I have no idea why they didn't make an anime.
Maybe
out of
Yeah,
it.
they
were
skipped over.
scared.
They skipped over it. and I don't know why. I guess they didn't want to ruin a perfect game, but
Also,
Yeah.
it's,
I guess we'll
it's
take a
kind of
look.
hard to like cram 80 hours of gameplay into like 24 episodes. So they always
No, you cut so much.
Yeah.
and-
there are very few times that I've ever watched an anime adaptation of a game that I thought worked. Like
Yeah.
Steins Gate did it very well, but Steins Gate as a visual novel was extremely linear, and they were
Yeah.
able to cut off the little like branches that didn't make sense, and that was fine.
Visual
but-
novels are definitely a lot easier to adapt. in
Yeah,
my opinion.
Nekopara was fine the opening.
when you get out like games like the Tales of franchise, you take out like the battle system, which is the biggest appeal of the game. You're left just with the story. So you have the character that jump from a location to a location that doesn't really make
But
sense.
then again, you know, you can also have, you know, these huge, like, massive story visual novels and take bits and pieces of it and turn it into an anime, but still make it work. Like, the Fate series is a great example of that. Like, the Fate series is huge game, but the anime still worked really, really well.
Well, that's because there are more than one.
Yeah, they did, like, what,
Fate's Day
5?
Night, the game, has like 4 different adaptations,
Yeah, exactly.
and they're all different.
Yeah, exactly. But at least they went to the trouble of making all of those adaptations instead of just leaving with one.
You know, I wouldn't mind seeing a Nino Kuni movie.
Nino Kuni?
Movie.
What would be even more awesome is a Nino Kuni movie done by Ghibli.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, it has to.
And then we
That's
try to
what
do
I
a
was saying.
video on
Which
it.
would be
And
great.
then we try and do a video on it, and then it gets taken down.
But then we couldn't do that, and then like Ghibli is kind of a shell right now because they're still open because Hayao
You mean
Miyazaki.
Studio Ponic?
Yeah, because Hayao Miyazaki is never going to retire until he dies.
Yeah.
And he's still doing his last film,
His third last film?
his third last film.
After his last retirement.
Yeah, nobody believes that.
No.
You know, this is probably just me and it's really niche, but in another panel, we were asked what our guilty pleasure anime was, and I said Senran Kagura, which like no one knows.
I know it.
Yeah, thank
I know
you, Joey. Hey! I didn't hear y'all chime up. That's how embarrassing it is.
You underestimate the gentleman with culture in the crowd.
But no, it's like I think I like the show because it's self-aware, but I like the game because I think the combat system's good, and no one believes me when I say that, but the combat system is good.
The GRAkada game is actually like
It is
pretty good.
really good. Like, even the offshoot, like the Peach Beach Splash for a third-person shooter, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It was just Splatoon with boobs, basically.
And no territory. It was literally just a brawl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, so we're about to open it up to Q&A. So if you see my lovely mic runner, Aya, please line up behind the... calmly behind the
We'll
mic.
try getting to as many as we can.
Don't run each other over.
I guess
Breaking
we'll
news, people have died in a
We're not
stampede
giving
at
anything away
local
today.
anime convention.
get to a lot of people. Should we make it quick to get to a lot of people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
We'll
so
make it quick to get to a lot of people. That's cool.
while everybody lines up,
Yeah, lightning round essentially.
You know what's the one question I'm surprised no one's ever asked us?
What?
Who's best girl?
Oh yeah.
No context,
Can
just
someone
who's
just
best-
ask us
You know
who's
what?
best girl?
I think you should answer it. Who is best
mean-
girl?
I mean, people don't have to ask me because they know who my best girl is.
Me.
You as well, but
As well.
as well.
Who is it, Misty?
Can be. Ask my shippers.
All right.
Okay. Hi there.
Hi. Have you guys seen the Phoenix Wright anime adaptation?
Yes.
I have.
What did you
I
think of
haven't
it?
yet.
There's one where the game is also better than the show.
Definitely.
I haven't gotten a chance to see it yet.
That's
Have
unfortunate.
you seen the Phoenix Wright live action?
Oh my god, yes.
I've seen that too.
What is that? Law and Order?
That crazy. It's not good, but it is entertaining.
It's so cringing.
It's like the live action anime of The Room. Like it's so bad that it's good.
And they're like, it's not even a proper adaptation. We're gonna be like, oh, we're gonna have all this futuristic stuff, and I'm like, why?
It's
Phoenix
If
Wright.
you like the Phoenix Wright games, do yourself a favor and go watch the Phoenix Wright live action. Like it's so bad, but you'll like be laughing the entire time. It's so good.
Hi, I was just actually really interested to know, when you guys are working late night on content, what is your food/drink of choice?
What's a food?
I really like that question.
No, like seriously, when I started doing YouTube, I started off having 3 meals a day. Now I have 2. And it's like, it's quickly becoming
2?
1.5.
Wow.
My answer.
It's becoming
More than
1.5. And here's the thing, I'm eating infinitely less food and I'm getting fatter.
For me, I have like this pack of like 100 cup ramen, and that seems to generally work because as long as I have that and hot water, I have like that and tea, and it's great. That's all I need.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I mean, I have a bag of sunflower seeds next to me. Other
good
than
choice.
that, anyone in here Filipino? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm super Filipino. I have like a bowl of rice, and I'm kind of just reviewing my video. This usually happens towards the end of editing, and I'm just eating with my hands of like adobo and rice. I'm just doing this of just the whole time. That's just the Filipino thing.
I eat salted peanuts. It's my thing.
That's a good
stuff.
choice.
Our diet is terrible.
Don't be like us.
snack.
What's
It's
a diet? That's just die with a T, right?
Yeah, I know, right? I think the appropriate question you should ask is how much caffeine are we taking?
Yeah. And the answer to
How
that
much
question
are
is
you?
a lot.
Far more than we probably should.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm expecting my doctor to tell me to not do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just drink an infinite amount of coffee.
Yeah.
Thanks for your question.
And I didn't drink coffee until like I started like really doing YouTube videos because I still say that I'm a tea person, but you know, coffee.
Yeah.
It's that
It keeps you going.
magic black
Yeah.
liquid. It's so so good. Anyway.
Okay, this is for Arcada.
Hi.
For, I think it was like your last week of Awesome.
Yes.
You did. You had Macross Frontier in it, and you mentioned that you had wanted to do it because then you could talk about the whole Robotech thing. Are you going to ever do a video on that or anything?
Probably. Because talking about the crap that is Harmony Gold, I mean, nobody gets that. There was no reaction to that. That's sad. You get it. This guy gets it. Yeah, no, I do really want to talk about Macross and like Robotech, but it's kind of hard to because I don't like Robotech at all, but I know there are so many people that absolutely love Robotech.
It's not that good. It's good for the time.
Yeah, and it's just like, I want to.
I mean, for considering what you had at the time was that, and Voltron was pretty
It was
good
a
for
good
its
it was a
time.
good spectacle as a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
thank you.
Yeah,
You're
in my
welcome.
mind, nostalgia does not equal good. Just saying.
So my question is a very important one. What is your favorite ice cream flavor?
I'm gonna be
Mint
like
choc-
the really stupid person and just say vanilla.
Thank you.
Because it goes with everything.
Bunch of plebs.
Casuals.
Mint chocolate chip all the way.
Do I have any cookies and cream fans in here?
I like coffee. Also in Japan, there's black vanilla ice cream, which is great.
No, that is good. Yeah.
It's just vanilla but black, if you didn't know.
Thanks for your question.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
didn't say yours.
I said I high five when I said
Oh,
vanilla.
okay.
With the Vanilla Brothers.
You guys are so white.
So, how do you feel about some of the Netflix animes, and especially one of the more mixed review one, Neo Yokio?
Yeah.
Look, I give them props for trying, and that in itself it goes a long mile for me.
Neo
There-
Yokio for me is in this like special like untouched area of anime because it's like I don't know.
You can't tell if they took it seriously.
Yeah, I mean it's the equivalent
I don't
of
think they
like
did.
going to a
Yeah.
kindergarten, right? Where like all these kindergarten kids have like drawn their art and somebody saying pick your best one. You know, it's like you can't. It's like but they all tried really hard.
I think with I think with Netflix though, I mean anime's always kind of been a section on there, but they've never really done anything. And since they've actually started getting the ball rolling, even though there's been a few misses, they have been killing it this year. With
Anyone have seen the Castlevania one?
Yes. Castlevania's
They did
really
a
good.
wonderful job on
So
it.
good.
Aggressive Retsuko's really good.
Yeah. Yeah. So the fact that you can also download their episodes, like for offline purposes, like that's
It's really nice and
is
convenient.
killing it. Netflix is killing it right now.
Yeah, so.
Thanks for your question.
Netflix is killing it now. Amazon was killing it last year because they had like everything really good. So we're looking forward to the end of this year and next year.
Also, when it comes to Yokio, I could not believe they actually brought up Hikikomori. I'm like, are you serious?
I can't believe that anime was made. Honestly.
Hi.
What's up?
If you could take any piece of American or any Western media, be it like a cartoon or a movie or a book, and turn it into an anime adaptation, what would you pick?
SpongeBob. Everyone saw that video and it works. It works.
I mean, if we're going on the same realm, then I have to say Filthy Frank.
Yeah. Wouldn't that just be Shin-chan, like, but for 25-year-olds?
Yeah, I think I said this to you, didn't I? I
It's
said
Shin-chan.
I said Filthy Frank is basically Shin-chan in his 30s.
Yeah.
So it would work perfectly.
I feel so bad that his like voice started dying out, so he had to stop making a lot of videos. And it's like, Papa Frank.
So that's why we need an anime so that he can live on forever.
Then it went into an angelic Joji voice
Yeah.
somehow. So.
I'm gonna be an old school dork. I would actually love to see a good anime on Dexter's Lab.
What would Dee Dee be in opposed to Dexter? Like a magical girl? Or Detta Detta?
Cause she would just.
It's like Dexter Senpai. Digi!
No, like if that was a real thing. If that was a real thing, if you thought the Nissan screaming was bad now through a DD filter, how awful would that be?
Oh.
That would be a new meme, hands down.
Then it's perfect.
Yeah.
For me, I think I'm gonna go a little weirdly sci-fi and say that I would like an anime adaptation of the book Dune, done in like Legend of the Galactic Heroes kind of thing. Like I think that would be freaking amazing.
I would fund the heck out of it. That'd be awesome.
No jokes, I'd be interested in seeing like anything from Stephen King.
That would be cool.
Yeah, it'd be a weird twist on it.
Yeah. I feel like something like The Shining, like done in like a psychological horror type of anime
With like,
style.
with like lots of like psychological, like psychedelic backgrounds. And stuff.
Yeah. Like in like a Mononoke style. I
Yeah.
think that'd be like really cool. Yeah. So thank you for your question.
Thanks. I'd love to see B-movie in an anime.
Oh my God.
That'd be awesome.
How y'all doing?
Good.
Pretty good.
All right. So, what are you guys' guilty pleasure outside of your career content and whatnot?
So like non-anime.
Yeah, not anime and like that.
Guilty pleasure outside of anime.
I watch a lot of video game stuff. I'm following a guy on YouTube that goes by Norton Lion. He does a lot of... Woo! Yeah, all right. Some people know him. He does a lot of roguelike stuff, and I kind of watch his stuff most of the time when I'm not working.
I practice K-pop dances in my free time.
BTS.
Army, where are you at?
I watch a lot of... I weirdly enough watch a lot of speedrunning videos on games. Because like for the longest time, I always watched like the AGDQ and the SGDQ. Like I watch that every year, like religiously. Yeah, and I just love it. And in my free time, I'm like, oh, I wonder if there's any like new updates on speedrunning records and something like that. Yeah, even outside of anime, I'm a bloody nerd.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I watch no one specifically, but just a lot of different content involving EVE Online. Which I know sounds really weird, but yeah.
What are you, a CEO?
What are you, a CEO? No.
What are you?
Wait, maybe.
I was about to say, do you own a company technically?
I own a corporation within EVE Online.
What's it called?
Oh, so yes.
Snap.
In other words,
it is a one-man corp, but it exists.
Absolutely surprising no one. I've picked Taiko back up in my spare time because that's something I absolutely love to do while I was living in Japan and never had the opportunity to do so until I recently moved to Dallas. So, yeehaw.
There you go. Thanks for your question.
Thank you.
All right, this is more to Gaijin Goombah, but everyone else can answer it. Well, table flips in the games
Oh, dude,
area.
show that Gaishi? Hell yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that game is in the games area. Have you played it? And what is your favorite memory playing that?
Apparently, you've tickled his funny bone somehow.
Oh, let me take you back to a time of 2010. No. When little Gaijin just got done. Oh, are we literally?
No.
Oh, I'm disappointed now.
No, it's fine.
I want to punch my Sanensei kids in the face. Joey knows what I mean. No, so if you guys don't know what this game is, it's you pick a scenario where like you're constantly being agitated and your two controls are slamming the table with your hands, which causes a small shake, and then you flip the crap out of it, right? And you're trying to do the most damage possible. Something that disappoints me is that all the versions that I've ever played in the States, they have like a wedding, a disco, a family, and then an office setting. The one that I had in Mie, in Yokkaichi, had a school setting.
Because Japan.
Because Japan.
So here's the thing. Whenever I would get, every Friday I had to teach my third year kids, and I hated my third year kids because that's a whole nother panel. So every Friday I would go down to the game center and I would just play that like 3 times. Right. And I would like, if there was a Gato in class that just got on my nerves, I would like aim it at her and whatnot. So no, like it's the biggest. It's a wonderful tool to get rid of aggression, and I can understand why it's so popular.
All right. I like your Ramon shirt, by the way.
Yeah, same.
What about you guys? Do you guys have any gaming experience with it?
Never played
Nah,
it.
Never played it, but if it's downstairs, I'll check it out.
Oh my god, can we do that like after this?
Sure. Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, so I have a question. So, it's not as good as the other ones, but... So, how do you know that a cartoon has crossed into the anime world? Like, for example, like, cartoons that look like it, but, like, they have, like, the little eyes, like, stereotypical symbols, like, how do you know? Like, Voltron, for example, or simple things like that.
So how do we differentiate between what's a cartoon and what's an anime, right?
Legally, it's like whatever's made from Japan is what's an anime.
But
For us,
it's opening up a can of worms, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's definition of an anime is different.
For a lot of people, Avatar is an anime. For
a lot of people, it's not.
Yeah. It was really hard back then because, like, then you had things also like Powerpuff Girls as well and Code Lyoko, where I was super...
And Powerpuff Girls did have an anime, though.
Which was somehow worse than the original one. Well, didn't they call it, like, Powerpuff Girls Z?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I wonder where they got that from.
Yeah, and they also made a Lilo and Stitch anime in Japan as well. So just sometimes anime can be worse, like from the original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just throw my opinion out there, and if you guys want to disagree with me, that's fine. I think the one thing that differentiates anime from cartoons is a human element. And when I say that, I'm not talking about human characters, but I'm talking about like elements of what makes us a sentient species. So like Avatar, definitely, or even like Avatar and Voltron, which were not made in Japan, which a lot of people argue are not anime, and then others that do. I kind of argue that it does, but only in the context of you get inside them, you get inside the characters so tightly, like so tightly. Whereas a lot of other Western cartoons, it's like there's kind of a trope that's filled, or there's only one character that's really prodded all that much. So, I mean, that's where I kind of draw the line, but that's kind of broad.
Let me just end it by saying this, okay? And this might blow some people's minds. In Japan, if you ask a Japanese person what Shrek is, they will say anime. And I swear to God, I am not joking.
But if you bring that opinion to the internet, they'll tell you the Japanese don't know what anime is.
Pixar, Disney, DreamWorks, all of that we call cartoons, that's anime in Japan. So really, what is anime anymore?
Because in Japan, anime simply means animation. It's just short for animation.
It's just animation, yeah. So there you go. Thanks for your question.
Thank you.
Hi, what do you think of the best anime ever, Totally Spies?
I love Totally Spies. Oh man.
I was too old.
Gosh,
for it.
you know what's weird? It's one of those shows where it's like I don't remember a single thing about it, but I know it's great. It's like Zoids. I don't remember anything that happened, but I knew for some reason I kept being pulled back into it.
For me, that's Kim Possible.
Like, those girls are hot, just so you know.
Like, the only thing I remember from Kim Possible is
that bod,
an orange girl, and a naked mole rat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't remember anything else, but I remember loving it.
Totally Spies is like my girly crushes back then.
I only know anything about Totally Spies because I was waiting to watch Kim Possible.
You're waiting for Ron to kiss her, like, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it.
And then we had to wait until the film.
Look, I'm sorry, y'all, but freaking Marvelous Ladybug just completely crushed.
Miraculous! It's miraculous.
Miraculous. I'm tired.
Thanks for your question.
Thank you.
Hey. So I'm just going to give a courtesy trigger warning for this question. Say if you have a favorite character you could put in the same crossover anime, what would it be?
What did you say?
Could you repeat that question?
Yeah. Like if you could choose any character, like a favorite character you like from an anime, to be in the same anime together.
Aki has two.
I want to see a crossover of Free and Haikyuu. See how that turns out. They attend the same school. And now that's just my Fujoshi side speaking out.
How do we not know that Free and Haikyuu is set in the same universe, but they just never see each other because they're busy with their club activities?
That could be.
Do you ever think about that?
Somebody make that for him right now.
That is a fan fiction that exists
I'm
somewhere.
waiting for the screenshot comparisons. He's been in the mirror all along.
I don't know, really.
Aki always talked my ear off about how she wants Yowamushi Pedal, the main character, and the girl
Princess
from,
Jellyfish?
Yeah, Princess Jellyfish.
Okay, who here?
That's awesome.
Okay, yeah, the lead character of Princess Jellyfish and the lead character of Yowamushi Pedal, they are like brother and sister, or if not, just perfect for each other, because they're both otakus, they're both nervous. Yeah, that's it.
And if you haven't watched either of those, go do that.
Yeah, they're both great.
Same voice as one of those, Deku.
I personally can't think of anything.
I can't either.
What about you?
No, because like anytime I think I was going through my head and I was like, oh, that'd be. Oh wait, no, that actually exists.
Right?
Either like in actual anime form, or they made some fighting game where they.
Yeah, because like for the longest time, I'm like, oh, I wish Gintama and Sket Dance would come together, and they did.
And they did.
No Game No Life had a lot of anime references in it as well, so I thought that was kind of funny. Like a lot of JoJo references in it.
JoJo with like a moe show would be really funny.
And then Pop Team Epic somehow makes its way to just
everything.
Be like, hey,
everything. Yeah.
How are you? Yeah.
I kind of want to see maybe I can't think of two shows together, but I would love to see Lupin the Third in something a bit more gritty.
I mean, Lupin the Third is pretty gritty. It can get gritty.
It can.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on how they.
Can you imagine like Lupin the Third with Ace Attorney, Phoenix Wright?
Oh my god.
It depends on like how they would play that though, because I watched the anime that was Lupin and Conan together, and really what that just ended up being was a very long Conan episode with a Lupin cameo.
I don't know why now I'm thinking of Conan in an Inspector Gadget episode.
That'd be.
It's just like, whoa.
Weird. Yeah.
Conan is just a mini Inspector Gadget, if you think about it.
No. Inspector Gadget and Zenigata.
That might be cool.
That would be fun.
Yeah. So there's a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks for your question.
Yeah, that was fun. Thanks.
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Hey there.
I just have a question for you. Like, what is the most recent awkward moment that you've had in conventions that just went too far?
Most awkward convention moments recently.
So I had one, I'm not going to say which con, it wasn't this one, where I met a guy down in the dealer's hall. It was a very nice conversation. We said hi, we talked about anime for like 5 minutes, and then I'm like, okay, cool. And then I moved on, and I started looking at some other dealers' areas, and then I turn around, and he's right there. And I'm like, okay, hi, how are you? And then he kept following me.
The only one I remember was in. I'm also not going to say the name of the con. It's not this one.
Yeah.
It's not even in America actually. It was last year, and I was walking in a mall with Gigik. We were both there, and from across the mall, I just heard this scream. Not from a girl, but from a dude. And everybody in the mall, like this is like a proper like shopping mall, right? Like not even part of the convention, just a shopping mall. And everybody turns around, and the first thing I see is this guy just running like full Matrix style towards me with his head really low.
Oh no.
And in that moment I was like, I'm gonna die. like this kid is gonna stab me or something.
Or slam into you at the very least.
Yeah, or slam into me or whatever. But what happened was he just ran full ball and just stopped right in front of me, and he said, I like your videos.
Yeah.
And I went, cool. My heart just exploded. So can you pay for the damages of that?
There's the one in Chicago. I think you guys were there. I was walking up because I was in the front. You guys were behind me. And I think our handler was like really far ahead of us. And then I just turned to like, there was like this group of people talking, like this group of cosplayers. And I think one of the cosplayers looked at me. And then I just genuinely said to that group, hi. One of them looks at me and he's like, and then he actually fell.
Yeah.
And then I thought something happened. I said, are you okay? And then like staff came to help him. And then, he composed himself together, got up. He's like, big fan. Love your videos. I'm
like this kid like genuinely like fell.
Yeah,
like he fainted, like full on fell to the ground.
That's commitment.
Yeah, like I heard his head like.
Like I heard his head like hit,
and the staff
like
had to help him.
yeah.
And the first thing he says, like from his whole thing, is
big fan. Yeah, I remember that.
yeah.
I've got kind of two. One of them is actually nice because so glomping hasn't happened in like a millennia at this point.
I mean, it happens, but the term has kind of dissipated a little bit.
Well, anyway, no, like to sum that experience up short, it's like this one ample gal who apparently didn't like bras just like did a 40-meter dash right at me, and that was a little scary. But I think the worst one, again, it didn't happen here. Yes.
Okay.
Anyway, no, so it's literally the first con I ever did by myself, and it was like when I was like super peaked. And gaming was really, really huge. I am dead. Like, I am sunken-faced. I'm angry looking because I'm so tired. I have a pathetic bag of McDonald's sitting on a one-person table and one chair. And a dude takes another chair, drags it, I'm like, I'm like, and he puts it right next to my table, sits down and starts talking. No introduction, no can I sit here, not are you busy eating. It's literally just, hey, so I like this. And it's like,
yeah.
That's the worst.
Don't do that, please.
All right. Yeah. I had one as well. It was a few cons ago. It was with my wife. She was helping me like sell a bunch of prints and everything. And some guy just came up, not to me, came up to her, stand in front of her, and stared at her for like 20 seconds. And she was like, can I help you? Can I get you anything? It's like, no. and just kept staring at her. It was like, while I was talking to a fan, I didn't notice the whole interaction, and at some point it was like a whole minute thing that he just kept staring at her. It was like, Matt, can you do something?
A lot of weird stuff has happened, but luckily this con's been really cool so far. So.
You guys are awesome.
Especially for as big as it is.
Yeah, especially for as big as it is, because this is like the type of like sized con that all of these stories come out of. But it's just this con though is chill.
Yeah.
So
I think we have time for one or two more questions.
Yeah, one more question.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Hey guys.
Hello. Hey.
Hey Aki, Makoto's best boy.
Hey.
Now, sorry. For my question is, what is the most obscure anime you've ever seen? For me, it's called Wrath of the Ninja. It was released by Manga Entertainment.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. What was that?
The most obscure anime you've seen.
The most obscure anime.
Mine is so obscure, I honestly can't remember its name.
Can you describe
because
it?
it's not an easy name. It has like 8, 9 Japanese words in it.
That's not hard.
Wait, I remember. It's Angel's Egg. Angel's Egg.
That's not obscure.
But I liked it.
It was good.
It's how are we defining obscure here? Like it was strange.
So obscure to the point where I don't expect anybody in the crowd to go, yeah.
No.
Right.
Well, I don't know. Like it was weird.
I'm
but
also
I liked
trying
it.
to think of one as well, but I can't remember.
Like
the name.
I've got one as well.
I don't remember the name.
Anyone? This is a test for everyone. Anyone knows the anime? I talked about it in my last video. It's called Angel Drops. How obscure is that? How fucked up is that shit? First of all?
No. I remember now. Magnetic Rose is it is a short film created by Otomo Katsuhiro, the same guy who created Akira, and it is basically Akira in space.
That sounds awesome. Why is that obscure?
And it's like a 20-minute film, really obscure, really small, but the quality of the movie is, in my opinion, is just as good as Akira.
No, it was also.
But nobody, you know it?
Yes, I
Okay,
do.
perfect. Well,
Ben at the Stage did a review of it. It was in a trilogy of films.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I did a video on it. And that is awesome. Like, if you loved Akira, watch Magnetic Rose, because that's awesome.
You know, it was also strange. The Gashikashi.
The Gashikashi was, I mean, I have my opinions on it.
It's
Yeah.
It was alright.
Alright,
Okay, so the next question is last. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay.
Sorry, everybody.
Okay.
Next question is last.
I wasn't done.
Oh no.
Finish your answer. I'm sorry.
Who's ever heard of a wonderful little show called Ninja Nonsense?
I have.
I haven't.
Damn, it's not obscure enough.
Next question.
Next question.
Okay, so for your non-anime friends that you had, and you're like talking about anime with them, and then they asked you, so is it a kid show? And you just like want to facepalm. Has that ever happened to any of you?
Oh
guys?
my god, me and Sailor Moon, it's not quite the same, but like when I saw Sailor Moon, I was like, is it okay that I like this? Because I was like 12, or no, I was like 15, 16, something like that, and I'm like, this is obviously like a girl show, but it's really good.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, there's that whole meme of like, you know, taking a screenshot of Elfen Lied and people being like, oh, that looks like a kid's show, and people being like, you wish. I had I don't know, I've had lots of examples of that. I mean, like, I had a friend who looked at Rena from Higurashi and was like, oh, that looks cute, and I'm like,
It is.
It is for
every 2 out of 4 episodes.
Yeah, for like 2 episodes, it's cute.
Yeah, I think we're actually gonna have to cut it here. All right,
really?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So sorry guys that we couldn't get to questions, but if you see us around the con, feel free to go stop us.
Yeah,
I guess
and thanks,
we have an autograph session
MomoCon.
tomorrow at 11.
Yeah, signing tomorrow at
Oh
11.
yeah, we have a
Tomorrow's
signing
our
tomorrow at
last
11
day.
in the dealer's hall downstairs. You
Yep.
will see us, so hope to see you guys there. Thanks,
Thank you,
everybody.
Atlanta.